Unleash the extraordinary power hidden within your mind. Renowned mental science pioneer William Walker Atkinson reveals the secret to transforming your life: focus. This isn't simply about concentration, it's about harnessing your mental energy to conquer challenges, turn setbacks into stepping stones, and manifest your deepest desires. Imagine breaking free from the chains of negativity, gaining crystal clear clarity, and embracing an unstoppable positive mindset. Atkinson's proven techniques empower you to direct your mental focus like a laser beam, unlocking a world of infinite possibilities. Rewire your brain for success, overcome any obstacle life throws your way, and create a life filled with purpose, passion, and unparalleled fulfillment. Don't let this untapped potential slip away. Embrace the wisdom of William Walker Atkinson and join the ranks of those who have harnessed the power of focus to achieve the impossible. Your journey to a limitless life begins now. Chapter 1. The Dual Nature of Man. Every person possesses two natures, one that propels us forward and another that urges us to retreat. The nature we choose to cultivate and focus our efforts on will ultimately determine who we become. Both natures compete for control, but it's our willpower that decides the outcome. With a supreme effort of will, a person can completely change their trajectory and achieve what might seem like a miracle. You can be that person if you choose to be, because willpower always finds a way. There are countless stories of individuals who, through practical steps, suddenly awakened as if emerging from a dream and developed their latent potential, transforming into entirely different people. Only you can decide when that pivotal moment of change will arrive. It's a choice, to allow our higher nature to guide us or be dominated by our most primitive impulses. Our actions are the result of our training. We are malleable and can be directed entirely by our willpower. Habit is a matter of acquisition. We often hear, "It's natural in him," or "It's a reflection of their parents," implying that they're simply repeating what their parents did. While this is common, there's no reason for it to be an unbreakable rule. A person can break a habit the moment they firmly decide to do so. Someone might have been considered ineffective their whole life, but from this instant, they can start being valuable. Even older individuals have suddenly changed and achieved great things. "I missed my opportunity," someone laments. That may be true, but through a solid effort of will, we can create new opportunities for ourselves. It's not true that opportunity only knocks once. In reality, opportunity doesn't come to us. We must seek it out. What's an opportunity for one person is often what another has missed. In these times, people's mental capacities are compared, and often the speed of mental response determines the outcome. One person thinks, "I'll do it," but while they procrastinate, another takes action and completes the task. Both had the same opportunity. The one who didn't seize it will regret their missed chance. However, this should serve as a lesson, and it will if they're on the path to success. Many people read excellent works but claim they don't get much out of them. They don't realize that the most a book or course can do is awaken their possibilities and motivate them to use their willpower. You can teach someone indefinitely, but they'll only truly know what they learn for themselves. It's like the saying, you can lead someone to the fountain, but you can't make them drink. One of the most beneficial practices is to look for the positive in all people and situations, as there's always something good in them. By recognizing someone's positive qualities, we not only encourage them, but also benefit ourselves. By seeking them, we gain their goodwill, which is sometimes a valuable asset. We receive what we give. There comes a time when most of us need encouragement, to be lifted up. So it's beneficial to form the habit of encouraging others. This will be a wonderful tonic for both those who receive encouragement and for yourself, as it will lead you to have encouraging and constructive thoughts. Life offers us opportunities to improve, but whether we do so depends on how close we are to achieving what's expected of us. At the beginning of each month, it's beneficial to take a moment to evaluate our progress. If we haven't met expectations, we should identify the cause and, through additional effort, strive to meet the requirements next time. Every time we fall behind in our plans, we lose irretrievable time. We can find excuses, but most are poor substitutes for action. Most goals are achievable. Our task may be difficult, but the greater the difficulty, the greater the reward. It's precisely the difficult challenges that truly develop us. What requires little effort utilizes few of our abilities and produces meager achievements. I firmly believe that anyone willing to make an effort can achieve success. The cost isn't monetary, but of effort. The will to succeed is the first necessary component of success. The next is to learn how to do it, and then put it into practice. The person most capable of achieving anything is the one with an open mind, someone who has acquired knowledge that, while it may seem unrelated to a particular case, is valuable in many contexts. Therefore, those who aspire to success must be broad-minded. They must acquire all the knowledge they can and be well-versed not only in one aspect of their field, but in all its aspects. Such a person will surely achieve success. The secret to success lies in constantly striving to improve, no matter where you are or what your position is. It's crucial to learn everything you can. Instead of focusing on the little you can do, concentrate on the much you're capable of doing. Those who adopt this attitude will always be valued, as they forge a reputation for being enterprising and effective. Progressive companies always seek to retain these types of people because they're a valuable asset. The person who reaches the highest levels is the one who is courageous, hardworking, and diligent, not the one who is timid, indecisive, or slow. Rarely does a passive person reach positions of responsibility and power. Those selected for these roles are those who have achieved results, shown initiative, and demonstrated their ability to inject energy and vigor into their efforts. The individual who stands out in crucial moments isn't usually a genius or more talented than others, but they've understood that results are only achieved through concentrated and persistent effort. They know that miracles in the professional realm don't happen by chance, but are the result of adhering to a plan and carrying it out. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who fail. In my opinion, with the right training, anyone could achieve success. It's truly regrettable that so many men and women endowed with capabilities and talents are relegated to waste. I harbor the hope that one day a philanthropist with resources will start an institution for the training of those considered failures. I'm convinced it would be an exceptional use of their resources. In a year, the science of practical psychology could work wonders for these people. They could seek out those who have lost control over themselves, those whose will has been weakened by illness or misfortune, and those who have become discouraged by pain or hardship. Often, all they need at the beginning is a little help to get up, but usually they find the opposite. As a result, their latent potential never develops and both they and the world are harmed. I trust that soon someone will seize the opportunity to use part of their fortune to revitalize those who have begun to falter. They only need to understand that within them exists a source of omnipotent power, ready to assist them whenever they decide to use it. It's enough to change their minds from despair to hope, so they can regain their momentum. When a person loses control today, they must earn their redemption by their own will. Rarely do they receive encouragement or inspiring advice. Generally, they must find the right path themselves. They must stop wasting their energy and focus on building a useful career. Today we must overcome our weakening tendencies alone. Don't expect others to help you. It only takes a great effort, making firm decisions and deciding to overcome weaknesses and vices. In reality, no one else can do this for you. They can encourage you, but that's all. I see no other obstacle, apart from a lack of health, that can't be overcome on the path to success. Any disadvantage can be overcome with more determination and will. A person with determination and willpower can be poor today and rich in a few years. Will is a more valuable asset than money. It will carry you over the abysses of failure if you give it a chance. People who have reached the highest positions have generally had to conquer their successes against great adversity. Consider the difficulties many inventors have faced before achieving success. They've often been misunderstood by family and friends, often lacked the essentials for living, but thanks to their determination and courage, they managed to subsist somehow until they perfected their inventions, which then contributed significantly to improving the condition of others. Many want to do something important, but few are willing to make the effort and sacrifice necessary to achieve it. The only way to achieve something is to go ahead and do it. Today, almost anything is achievable if you put your heart into it and don't let anything obstruct your progress. Obstacles are quickly overcome by those who are determined to fulfill their heart's desire. The bigger the person, the smaller the obstacle seems, and the more limited the person seems, the bigger the obstacle appears. Always focus on the advantage you gain by overcoming obstacles, and this will give you the courage needed to conquer them. Don't expect your path to always be easy. You're likely to encounter difficult stretches on your journey. Don't let these difficulties stop you. Continue on your path. The way you face and overcome challenges shows what you're made of. Instead of sitting and lamenting the difficult moments, remember with appreciation the pleasant stages you've lived. Look eagerly towards the clear plains ahead. Don't let a setback paralyze you. Consider each obstacle as a simple incident you must overcome to reach your goal. Resilience in the face of challenges is what will ultimately lead you to success and allow you to achieve your goals. Maintain a positive and proactive attitude, and every step, even the difficult ones, will bring you closer to where you want to be. Chapter 2. The Power of Self-Mastery and Focused Concentration. Psychologically speaking, humans have yet to reach their full potential. We lack the self-mastery and focused concentration that is rightfully ours. These skills haven't been developed in a way that fosters true self-control. Imagine a well-balanced mind, equipped with faculties designed to plan, direct, and concentrate both mental and physical actions. It's essential to learn how to control not just our thoughts, but also our bodily movements. Without training these faculties of self-regulation, our impulses, emotions, thoughts, actions, and habits lack proper control. Mental concentration suffers, not necessarily from weak faculties, but from a lack of proper training. Without developing self-regulation, our impulses, appetites, emotions, and passions run wild, leading to an impulsive, restless, emotional, and erratic mind. This is why mental concentration can be deficient. The key to improving concentration and self-mastery lies in training and developing these faculties of self-regulation. When these self-guiding faculties are weak, we lack the power of mental concentration. It's impossible to learn to concentrate until these faculties are developed. If you find it difficult to concentrate, one of these reasons could be the cause. Underdeveloped motor centers in the brain lead to a lack of willpower. An impulsive and emotional mind is characterized by an inability to control anger, passion, hate, strong impulses, and intense emotions. An untrained mind, which can be corrected with systematic practice. To correct an impulsive and emotional state of mind, it's beneficial to curb intense emotional states and avoid food and drink that negatively affect the nervous system or stir up passions. Associating with stable and controlled individuals can also be helpful. Addressing the deficiency of motor centers is more complex, as it involves developing the brain and willpower. This process takes time and can benefit from reading and studying educational materials that offer guidance and support. Many people mistakenly believe that being in a negative state is concentration. This is incorrect. They may be meditating, but not necessarily concentrating. Those who spend much time in a negative state generally fail to concentrate effectively. Instead, they tend to develop mental abstraction or absent-mindedness. Their ability to concentrate weakens, making it difficult to focus on anything. Maintaining this state can even harm the brain. To concentrate, you must possess mental strength. People with weak minds have difficulty concentrating due to a lack of will. A mind that can't focus on a specific topic or thought is weak. Equally weak is a mind that can't deviate from a topic or thought. But someone who can focus their mind on any problem, regardless of what it is, and discard any inharmonious impression, demonstrates mental strength. Concentration, from beginning to end, is synonymous with mental strength. Through concentration, a person can collect and maintain their mental and physical energies in their work. A concentrated mind pays attention to thoughts, words, actions, and plans. The person who allows their mind to wander will rarely achieve much in the world. They waste their energies. You concentrate the moment you firmly decide, I want to, I can, I will do it. It's a mistake to waste time reading sensationalist stories or worthless newspaper articles, as this excites the impulsive and emotional faculties, weakening your ability to concentrate. You won't be a free individual, capable of guiding yourself towards success. Mental concentration can only be developed through careful self-observation. All development begins with detailed attention. It's essential to regulate all your thoughts and feelings. By starting to observe yourself, your actions, and those of others, you activate and employ your autonomous faculties. By continuing this practice, you'll improve your faculties until you can eventually direct all your thoughts, desires, and plans. Being able to consciously focus the mind on the object in question is key to concentration. Only a trained mind can focus effectively and maintain a thought until all faculties have fully considered it. A person who can't direct their thoughts, desires, plans, resolutions, and studies can't achieve maximum success. Someone who is impulsive one moment and calm the next lacks proper self-control. They're not masters of their minds, thoughts, feelings, and desires. This lack of self-control prevents them from achieving success. Irritability not only affects the person, but also negatively impacts others, ruining the chances of collective success. On the other hand, the person who can direct their energies and keep them focused on their work controls each of their actions, and therefore acquires the ability to influence others. They can make each of their movements contribute to a useful end, and each thought to pursue a noble purpose. In today's fast-paced world, the ability to remain calm, collected, and laser-focused is a highly sought-after skill. Yet many of us struggle with impulsivity, emotional outbursts, and a scattered mind. The good news is that you can cultivate the self-mastery and concentration needed to thrive in any situation. Imagine a life where you're in complete control of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. A life where you can effortlessly direct your mental and physical energy towards your goals, achieving success with ease and grace. This isn't just a pipe dream, it's your untapped potential waiting to be unleashed. The key lies in training your mind and body to work in harmony. By developing self-regulation, you can overcome impulsivity, emotional turmoil, and scattered thinking. This newfound control will empower you to make better decisions, communicate more effectively, and achieve your goals with greater efficiency. Develop a conscious awareness of what you do every day as a starting point. Are you responding with thought, or are you acting on impulse? Through consistent behavior assessment and deliberate modification, you will progressively improve your focus and self-control. Keep in mind that success breeds concentration. You become a powerful force when you are able to concentrate your thoughts and focus your energies. You'll act more effectively, communicate more effectively, and be more inclined to take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. Imagine yourself having a discussion with someone. Are you paying close attention, giving insightful responses, and being totally present? Or are you preoccupied and letting your thoughts stray into irrelevant areas? You will not only leave a lasting impression, but also acquire insightful knowledge from others if you can practice concentrated attention. Think about the distinction between a person who is easily agitated and someone who possesses strong character. Whereas the latter seems disorganized and uncertain, the former radiates a serene, confident aura. Those who possess self-control can teach you important lessons about preserving your energy and directing it toward your objectives. You cannot waste energy and be at your best, just as a steam engine cannot run with all of its valves open. Your brain's neurons are all centers of cognition and activity that release sentient energy. Through the use of a focused and disciplined mind, you can harness this force and access a source of energy, charisma, and inner strength. Practice and commitment are necessary steps on the road to self-mastery and focused concentration. It involves teaching your body and mind to function as one cohesive unit, much like a well-oiled machine. You may realize your full potential and attain the success you deserve by being an expert in your ideas, emotions, and behaviors. Are you prepared to seize the reins of your life and realize your full potential? The first step in the journey is to make the decision to develop self-control and concentrated attention. If you take on this challenge, you'll find that there are a ton of untapped opportunities. The lower part of your brain is a powerhouse of energy, and most people possess all the dynamic energy they need, if they know how to harness it. You have the machinery, but you also need the engineer, the power of self-regulation and direction. Those who don't develop their engineering skills won't achieve much in life. A skilled engineer controls every action, and all their work contributes to their growth. What you do will either lead to progress or degeneration. It's always helpful to keep this in mind when you're unsure whether to do something. Ask yourself, will this make me grow or deteriorate? Then act accordingly. I firmly believe in the idea of working when you work and playing when you play. When you indulge in pleasure, focus exclusively on that pleasure, and you'll discover a more intense experience than ever before. When your mind is on love, think only of that, and your love will deepen. Focusing on your true self and its incredible possibilities develops concentration and self-worth. Doing this systematically builds immense power, because systemization requires concentration. When you go to the countryside, breathe in the fresh air, study the vegetation, and observe the trees, you're concentrating. Arriving at your workplace at a specific time each morning develops the stability of habit and makes you systematic. If you arrive early one day and late the next, you're not developing concentration. But every time you fix your mind on a specific thought and maintain your attention on it at successive intervals, you are developing concentration. Keeping your mind focused on a chosen object is like focusing a camera lens on a specific landscape. That's why it's crucial to pay attention to what you're doing, no matter what it is. Carefully monitor your actions and thoughts, because without this control, your progress will be slow. Practice long, deep breaths, not just for better health, which is important in itself, but also to develop more power, love, and life. Every effort contributes to your development. It might seem trivial to try to develop concentration through muscle exercises, but don't forget the connection between the mind, muscles, and nerves. By stabilizing your nerves and muscles, you also stabilize your mind. If your nerves are disordered, your mind will become erratic and lack the power of direction. In other words, concentration. That's why exercises that strengthen your nerves and muscles are fundamental for developing concentration. We constantly receive impulses that must be directed and controlled to lead a successful life. That's why it's essential to control the movements of your eyes, feet, fingers, and so on. Breath control is also crucial. Slow, deep, and prolonged exhalations are highly beneficial, stabilizing circulation, heart activity, muscles, and the nerves that influence the mind. If your heart beats irregularly and your breathing is uneven, your mind becomes unstable and unsuitable for concentration. Therefore, controlled breathing is vital for physical health and the ability to concentrate. You must train not only your mind, but also the actions of your eyes, ears, and fingers. Each of these organs, in a sense, contains small minds controlled by the master engineer, which is your mind. You'll develop much faster if you understand this thoroughly. If you've ever been in the company of remarkable people or read their biographies, you'll have noticed that they often let others do the talking. Talking is much easier than listening. There's no better exercise for developing concentration than paying close attention when someone else is speaking. In addition to learning from what they say, you can develop both mental and physical concentration. In today's world, emotional outbursts and irritability are frowned upon. A well-educated person speaks slowly and deliberately, cultivating an air of calmness and focused attention. They concentrate on one thing at a time, shutting out all distractions. When you engage in conversation, give your full and undivided attention. Don't let your mind wander or become distracted. Make your will and intellect work together. Start each morning with the intention of being as self-reliant as possible throughout the day. Periodically, take stock of your daily actions and assess whether you've maintained your resolve. If not, strive to do better the next day. The more self-control you exercise, the better your concentration will become. Never be in too much of a hurry. Remember, as your concentration improves, so do your chances of success. Concentration brings success because it makes you more capable of controlling yourself and centering your mind. This, in turn, makes you more effective in your actions, which almost always improves your opportunities for success. When you speak with someone, keep your own plans in mind. Focus your energy on the purpose of the conversation. Observe their every move, but without losing sight of your own objectives. If you don't, you'll waste your energy and won't achieve all that you could. Observe someone who has a reputation for being a strong character. Notice the perfect control they have over their body. Compare this to the average person. Pay attention to how they move their eyes, arms, and fingers. Observe the unnecessary waste of energy. All these movements scatter vital cells and reduce the person's power in vital and nervous aspects. Conserving your nervous energy is as important as conserving your vital energy. Think of a train moving smoothly along the track. If someone opens all the valves, the train stops. The same thing happens to you. If you want to utilize all your energy, you must close the valves and direct your mental energy-generating power toward a single goal. Focus your mind on one purpose, one plan, and one task. Nothing consumes nervous force as quickly as emotion. For this reason, an irritable person is never magnetic. They're not admired or loved, and they don't develop their qualities to the fullest. Anger, sarcasm, and emotion weaken a person. Those who allow themselves to become overly emotional become nervous over time, consuming their nervous and vital energies. When the mind can concentrate properly, the energy of every microscopic cell focuses on a single channel, generating a powerful personal influence. Each person possesses millions of tiny, vibrating cells, each with a center where life and energy are stored and generated. If this energy isn't wasted but conserved and controlled, the person becomes influential. But if it's wasted, the person won't be influential or successful. Just as it's impossible for a steam engine to function with all its valves open, it's also impossible to spend your energy indiscriminately and still function at peak performance. Every neuron in the gray matter of your brain is a center of thought and psychic action, each emitting an intelligent force of some kind. When this force, your thoughts and movements, is restrained and guided by a conservative, systematic, and concentrated mind, the result is magnetism, vitality, and health. Your muscles, bones, ligaments, feet, hands, and nerves act as agents to carry out the mind's commands. The primary function of the volitional faculties is to move the physical mechanism as energy travels along the nerves and muscles. Therefore, by exercising voluntary control over these messages, impulses, thoughts, emotions, physical movements, and the physical instruments themselves, you develop your faculties of self-mastery. To the extent that you succeed in this aspect, you'll develop the power of concentration. Any exercise or work that excites the mind, stimulates the senses, activates emotions and appetites, or causes confusion, fear, or excitement, weakens the ability to concentrate. Therefore, all kinds of emotions are considered harmful. This is why people who consume alcoholic beverages, who indulge in fits of anger, who engage in conflicts and thus develop their emotions, who are impulsive, vehement, and emotional, lack the power to concentrate effectively. On the other hand, those who act more calmly and whose actions are guided by their intelligence develop better concentration. Sometimes, dogmatic, stubborn, and excitable people can concentrate, but their concentration tends to be spasmodic and erratic rather than controlled and uniform. Their energy varies. Sometimes it's abundant, and other times it's scarce. It's easily excited and wasted. It's comparable to the accidental discharge of a weapon. If it's fired prematurely, not only is ammunition wasted, but it can also be dangerous. This is what many people do, by allowing their energy to dissipate in an uncontrolled way, wasting it and putting others at risk. This damages their chances of success and their personal magnetism. Such individuals are rarely highly appreciated, and they won't be until they gain control of themselves. They'll need to practice a variety of concentration exercises and maintain them for some time. They must overcome their sudden and erratic thoughts and regulate their emotions and movements. They must train from morning till night to stabilize the mind, direct and maintain their energies focused on their work. Chapter 3. The Power of Concentration in Creating Your Reality. Doubting minds might ask, how can you achieve something simply by wishing for it? I firmly believe that through focused concentration, you can achieve anything you desire. Every wish can be fulfilled, but its realization hinges on your ability to concentrate and bring that wish into reality. Merely wishing for something won't make it happen. We don't live in a world of fairy tales. The energy you expend on fleeting thoughts is just as valuable as the energy you invest in something truly worthwhile. Be mindful of your desires. Craft a clear mental image of what you want and focus your will on it until it materializes. Avoid aimless wandering. Define your goals and strive with all your might to achieve them, and success will follow. Believe that you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Many people make commitments but secretly harbor doubts about their ability to succeed. This often becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. For instance, imagine a woman searching for a rare book. She visits multiple bookstores, only to be told it's out of stock. Undeterred, she inquires about other possible sources, consults with store managers, and eventually tracks down the book. This is the power of focused determination. Remember, your soul is a wellspring of infinite power, and you can achieve whatever you desire. Embrace the mindset of, I will find a way or make one. This is the spirit that fuels success. Consider the story of a young woman who dreamed of becoming a renowned architect. Starting as an intern at a small firm, she carried a sketch of her dream project in her pocket. Every day, she reminded herself of her goal, taking small steps to learn and grow. Years later, she unveiled her masterpiece, a testament to the power of focused intention. Don't squander your mental energy on fleeting desires or whims. Focus on something truly meaningful. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, power is for the one who exercises power. Your present success depends on harnessing the inner law of strength. By doing so, you awaken the powers of thought that, when applied to your endeavors, guarantee lasting results. This vast universe is interconnected by countless forces. You create your own place in it, and its significance depends on you. Through unwavering determination and the passage of time, you can achieve all that is right and good. Don't be afraid to pursue your dreams. If something is right and you are willing to work for it, it will inevitably come to pass. Even if the whole world thinks you're wrong, remember that God and one person can be a majority. In simpler terms, the omnipotent inner law that is God working through you can conquer any challenge if your cause is just. Don't merely wish to be great. You can achieve anything that is right and that you desire. Simply say, I can, I will, I must. Realize this, and the rest will follow. You possess the latent faculties and strengths to overcome any obstacle. Let life's challenges come thick and fast. You are prepared for them. Your soul is invincible. You embody the infinite law of strength and power. This God within you is your ever-present source of strength. The greater your trials, the greater your triumphs. The more difficult your tests, the faster you develop your inherent strength. Even if everything around you crumbles, your inner strength is enough. Right will always prevail. You draw wisdom and power to know and follow the right path. Your higher self is all-wise, and you are drawing closer to it. Remember, thought is incredibly powerful. A single thought of fear has been known to turn a person's hair grey overnight. Consider the story of a man falsely accused of a crime. Despite overwhelming evidence against him, he never lost faith in his innocence. He focused on the truth, visualizing his exoneration. Eventually, new evidence emerged, proving his innocence and setting him free. Focus is the silent force that yields remarkable results. Recognize the immense power of your thoughts and direct them towards your goals with unwavering determination. Embrace the truth that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, and the universe will conspire to make it happen. These examples illuminate the immense power of thought. Fully grasping this power is invaluable, for through focused thought, you can achieve anything you desire. Thought significantly amplifies your efficiency and strength. You are surrounded by a constant stream of thoughts, both positive and negative. If you don't cultivate a positive mental attitude, you're sure to absorb some of the negativity. By examining the unnecessary states of anxiety, worry, discouragement, and others that stem from uncontrolled thoughts, You'll understand the importance of mastering your mind. Your thoughts shape who you are. When I walk down the street and observe people's faces, I can glean insights into their lives. Everything is reflected in their expressions, just as a mirror reflects their physical features. Looking at those faces, I can't help but think about how many people have squandered their lives. Understanding the power of thought will awaken possibilities within you that you never imagined. Always remember that your thoughts mold your environment and friendships, and these will shift as your thoughts evolve. This is a crucial lesson to learn. Positive thoughts are constructive, while negative thoughts are destructive. The desire to do right carries immense power. It's vital to recognize the significance of your thoughts and how to make them valuable. Understand that they reach you through invisible channels and connect you with others on a similar mental wavelength. If your thoughts are elevated, you'll attract people of similar caliber who can help you. If they're convoluted, you'll attract complicated individuals who may try to deceive you. If your thoughts are honest and straightforward, they'll inspire trust in those you interact with. As you earn the goodwill of others, your confidence and strength will grow. You'll soon discover the incredible value of your thoughts and the serenity you can maintain even in the most challenging circumstances. Thoughts focused on good and doing good align you with influential people who can support you when needed. Now you can see why it's so important to channel your thoughts in the right direction. It's essential that people trust you. When two people meet, they don't have time for deep analysis. They accept each other based on instinct, which is usually reliable. If someone's demeanor raises suspicions, you might not be able to explain why, but your intuition warns you. Avoid dealings with such people, as you'll likely regret it if you don't. Thoughts lead to actions, so be mindful of what you think. Your life will be shaped by your thoughts. A spiritual power is always available to your thoughts, and when you are worthy, you can attract all good things without much effort. Our gardens are lit by the sun, but we may grow trees to obscure that light. Though they work in silence, if you don't think and act in ways that disrupt them, invisible forces are ready to assist you. You get out of yourself what you put in. You can transform your life and accomplish far more with minimal effort if you focus. Peer inside and you'll find the most amazing machine ever made. You must at least partially focus your abilities and capabilities on the topic at hand in order to communicate wisely. Speaking causes the mind to focus in the wrong direction because it diverts attention outside of itself. It is nothing like the profound silence of the subconscious, the birthplace of profound ideas and strong still powers. Before you can communicate intelligently, you must first be silent. The one who has practiced in silence is the one who is truly aware, balanced, and able to talk intelligently in difficult situations. Silence is a difficult quality to attain, despite the misconceptions held by most people about what it entails. When we experience absolute stillness, we are able to connect with that inner rule, and energies that are vibrating beyond what our outward ears are tuned to become peaceful. Openness to the internal pathways that lead to the unchanging law of the Almighty is necessary for those who aspire to soar above the ordinary. The only way you can achieve this is by consistently and wisely engaging in mental focus exercises. Before you can communicate intelligently, you must first be silent. The one who has practiced in silence is the one who is truly aware, balanced, and able to talk intelligently in difficult situations. Silence is a difficult quality to attain, despite the misconceptions held by most people about what it entails. When we experience absolute stillness, we are able to connect with that inner rule and energies that are vibrating beyond what our outward ears are tuned to become peaceful. Openness to the internal pathways that lead to the unchanging law of the Almighty is necessary for those who aspire to soar above the ordinary. The only way you can achieve this is by consistently and wisely engaging in mental focus exercises. Silently hold this thought: I will give my higher self all authority. I'm going to follow my greater self. I'll spend my life according to my moral principles. I understand that living life to the fullest is what's best for me. In order to act sensibly for both myself and other people, I want wisdom. We will explore the secret law that binds all of mankind together with the power of cooperative thought in the upcoming chapter, as well as how this law selects our friends and companions for us. Chapter 4. Mastering the Art of Thought for Success. The power to fulfill your desires and achieve success lies within you. Your thoughts are the key to unlocking this potential. The barriers that hold you back are under your control, and you possess the unlimited power of thought to overcome them. This power connects you to your omniscient source. Success is the result of specific states of mind or ways of thinking that you can consciously control and cultivate. You have evolved to where you are now from humble beginnings because you possessed the power of thought. This power will never abandon you. It will propel you towards perfection. As you evolve, you develop new desires, and these too can be fulfilled. The power to govern your life resides within you, as do the barriers that hinder you from exercising that power. These barriers are ignorance and limiting beliefs. Focused thought can achieve seemingly impossible results and enable you to realize your deepest ambitions. By breaking down these barriers, new aspirations will emerge. You begin to experience conscious thought creations. When you understand that deep concentration connects you with thoughts of omnipotence, you eliminate your belief in limitations. Simultaneously, you dispel fear and other negative, destructive thought forces that constantly work against you. Instead, you build a strong assurance that all your endeavors will succeed. You are in charge of your mental images when you practice focusing and affirming yourself. You then take control of your circumstances and establish yourself as the monarch of your own realm, which in turn helps mold your actual surroundings. It's as simple to surround your life with what you want as it is to surround it with what you don't. Your will is what determines this decision. As long as your desires are in line with what is good, there are no barriers standing in your way. If you make a bad decision, you defy the universe's all-powerful schemes and deserve to fail. However, if your objectives are based on justice and goodwill, you will not suffer negative effects, but rather gain from the beneficial forces of universal currents. Looks may not always translate into success, but you may have faith in the end. Never let appearances deceive you. Always have faith in your ultimate achievement. Make sure your plans are in line with the currents of global justice by thoroughly considering them. The most crucial thing to keep in mind is to resist the antagonistic and destructive energies of wrath, fear, and their companions. There is no force greater than the conviction that your cause is just and the knowledge that your thoughts are in line with the divine principles of thought. If your cause is unjust, you may see short-term success, but it won't last long. You will eventually have to demolish your mental structure and rebuild on the real basis of goodness. Plans that are not grounded in reality are self-destructive and cause discordant vibrations. Build nothing until you can do it correctly. Any other method is a waste of time. Its actual vibrations may cause you to momentarily stray from your desire to do the right thing, but they will eventually compel you to return to the paths of power that are righteous. All just causes, despite their seeming temporary failure, eventually succeed. Thus, when all appear against you, suppress your negative thoughts, calm your fears, and preserve the honor of your moral and spiritual being. A willing person can achieve their goals. This is due to the fact that will, given the opportunity to enlist the aid of beneficial forces, is capable of paving its own course. Its direction will be more effective the more developed it is. When everything seems bleak and discouraging, it's time to demonstrate your true character by remaining calm, serene, and bright, as if you were already enjoying prosperity. Be faithful in sowing the seeds of success, with the absolute confidence that the sun will shine and bring a bountiful harvest in its season. It's not always necessary to consciously think about the success of a project when you're fully immersed in it. When the body is inactive, the mind is freer to grasp new ideas that will promote the opportunity you seek. When you're genuinely engaged in doing something, you're within the channels you've previously built, and the work doesn't need to be done again. When you're in a negative state of mind, intuitions are more active because you're not controlling your thoughts by will. Everything we do should have the approval of intuition. When you're in a negative mood, you attract thoughts of a similar nature through the law of affinity. That's why it's so crucial to form thoughts of a successful nature to attract others like them. If you've never studied this subject, you might think it's nonsense, but it's a fact that there are thought currents that infallibly attract thoughts of a similar nature. Many people who constantly think about failure actually attract failure through their worries, anxieties, and overactivity. These thoughts are destined for failure. Once you learn the laws of thought and focus solely on good, truth, and success, you'll progress further with less effort than you've expended before. There are forces that can aid the mind, of which the average person has little idea. When you learn to believe more in the value of thought and its laws, you'll be guided correctly, and the gains in your business will multiply. The following method can help you gain better control of your thoughts. If you can't control your fears, tell your wavering determination, "Don't hesitate or be afraid, for I am not truly alone. I am surrounded by invisible forces that will help me overcome unfavorable appearances." Soon, you'll have more courage. The only difference between the courageous and the fearful person lies in their will and hope. Therefore, if you lack success, believe in it and hope for it. The powers of the mind allow your moods to shift as you wish, instead of being affected by circumstances. I was recently asked if I advise concentrating on what one eats or sees while walking. My answer was that it doesn't matter what you're doing when, in practice, you think of nothing else but that act at that moment. The idea is to be able to control your trivial actions. Otherwise, you'll establish a habit that will be difficult to overcome because your faculties haven't been accustomed to focusing. Your faculties can't be disorganized one minute and organized the next. If you let your mind wander while doing small things, you're likely to make mistakes and find it difficult to concentrate on the important act when it arrives. The person capable of concentrating is a happy and busy person. Time doesn't drag for them. They always have plenty to do. They don't have time to dwell on past mistakes, which would make them unhappy. If, despite our discouragement and failures, we claim our great inheritance of life, truth, and strength like an electric current, it will permeate our lives until we enter our birthright in eternity. The will doesn't act with clarity, decision, and promptness unless it's trained to do so. Comparatively few people truly know what they're doing every minute of the day. This is because they don't observe with enough order and precision to know what they're doing. It's not difficult to know what you're doing all the time if you practice concentration with calm deliberation and train yourself to think clearly, quickly, and decisively. If you allow yourself to worry or rush through what you're doing, it won't register clearly in the subjective mind like a sensitized plate, and therefore you won't be truly aware of your actions. Therefore, practice precision and concentration of thought, as well as absolute truthfulness, and you'll soon be able to concentrate effectively. Chapter 5. The Indomitable Force of Human Will. The will to do is the most potent force in the world when it comes to human achievement, and no one can predict its limits beforehand. Feats that we accomplish today would have been deemed impossible in the past, and the prevailing motto now is, "All things are possible." The will to do is a practical force, though difficult to define precisely. It's akin to electricity, known only through its cause and effect. It's a power we can direct, and how we wield it shapes our future. Every action you take, whether deliberate or unconscious, employs the principle of will. You can perform any act, good or bad, and the way you use your will makes a profound difference in your life. Everyone possesses some degree of will. It's the inner energy that governs all conscious acts. What you decide to do directs the forces of your life. All habits, whether good or bad, are the result of your choices. You either improve or diminish your life's condition based on your decisions. Your will is connected to all avenues of knowledge, all activities, and all achievements. You've likely encountered instances where people have displayed remarkable strength under emotional duress. For example, a mother, typically seen as frail, might lift a car to save her trapped child. It's her will to do that empowers her. Genius is nothing more than the will to do small things with infinite effort. Small things done well open doors to greater opportunities. The will achieves its greatest triumphs through activities born of intense concentration and the acquisition of voluntary attention. When this power is developed to the point where we can direct it at will and maintain it on a task until our goal is reached, it becomes a mighty force. Almost anything can be achieved through its proper use. Will is more potent than physical strength because it can control not only physical, but also mental and moral forces. Few people possess a perfectly developed and balanced willpower, but those who do easily overcome their weaknesses. Study yourself carefully. Identify your greatest weakness and then use your willpower to overcome it. In this way, eradicate your flaws one by one until you've built a strong character and personality. When a desire arises, consider whether it would be beneficial for you. If not, use your willpower to eliminate it. But if it's a righteous desire, summon all your willpower to your aid. Overcome all obstacles that stand in your way and secure the possession of the desired good. Hesitancy in decision-making is a weakness of willpower. You know you should do something, but you delay due to indecision. It's easier not to do something than to do it, even though your conscience tells you otherwise. The great majority of people fall short of achievement because they are unable to make critical decisions when they need to. Successful people act quickly to take advantage of possibilities and make choices. It is possible to gain culture, money, and health by using this willpower. Here are some particular pointers. Try to make more decisions in your daily life, especially throughout the coming week. Decide on a particular wake-up time and stick to it. Make sure you do everything on your to-do list in advance. Of course, you should give significant problems careful thought, but by acting quickly on minor concerns, you'll develop the ability to act quickly on major issues as well. Don't wait around. Make a decision right away, even if it means making a mistaken choice. Try this out for a week or two and see how much better you are at making decisions. A lot of people's achievement is also hampered by a lack of initiative. They have developed the bad habit of copying other people in whatever they do. It's a common phrase to hear, they seem smart enough, but they lack initiative. They see life as one big routine. They perform the same tedious routine of work every day. But those who advance take the initiative to attain higher levels of fulfillment in life. Nothing contributes to poverty more than a lack of initiative or the ability to think and act independently. You are as capable as anyone else. You possess willpower, and by harnessing it, you can claim your share of life's luxuries. Don't rely on others for help. Fight your own battles. Everyone admires a fighter, while cowards are universally scorned. Each person's challenges are unique, so analyze your opportunities, circumstances, and natural abilities. Formulate plans for improvement and put them into action. Don't just say, I'm going to do this or that. Instead, create a concrete plan and don't give up until you've achieved your goal. Apply these suggestions earnestly, and you'll soon witness astonishing results that will radically transform your life. An excellent motto for those with pure motives is, through my willpower, I dare to do what I desire. You'll find this affirmation incredibly empowering. The spirit of perseverance is crucial. It's the spirit that triumphs. Many people make progress to a certain point and then give up, whereas if they had persevered a little longer, they would have succeeded. Many have plenty of initiative, but instead of focusing it on a single channel, they scatter it across several, diluting their efforts before they even begin. Before starting anything, you must look ahead and see where the journey leads. Choose a path that takes you somewhere, not nowhere. The journey should be productive and yield substantial results. Many young people have the issue of starting undertakings without a defined objective. The destination of the journey is more important than the starting point in the true sense. Every little step you take should take you one step closer to the goal you set out to accomplish before starting the project. All that's missing from a lack of perseverance is a will. To say, I will continue, is as energy-intensive as saying, I give up. You turn off your determination dynamo the instant you say the latter. You lessen your determination each time you let it wane. When you sense your resolve beginning to waver, keep this in mind. Focus on it, and you can force it to continue functioning. You should never try to make a decision when you're not feeling calm. You might say something you'll later regret if you're easily enraged. When you're angry, impulse takes precedence over logic. If someone makes judgments without having complete control over their mental faculties, they cannot hope to succeed. decide to only make decisions when you're in your greatest mental state as a result. If you're the type of person who gets upset easily, counting backward can help you quickly learn to control your anger. This breaks the pattern of impetuous rage and demands focus while assisting you in regaining your composure. It will be helpful to reflect on what you said and thought the last time you were angry. Persevere until you can see yourself as others see you. It wouldn't hurt to write the scene as a story and then judge the character who played your role. The will to do is a form of mental energy that requires the right mental attitude to manifest. We often hear about people with marvelous willpower, but in reality, these individuals are actively using their willpower, while in many of us this force remains dormant. Understand that no one has a monopoly on willpower. There's enough for everyone. What we call willpower is simply the concentration of mental energy at a given moment. Never think that someone has a stronger will than you. Each person is provided with the amount of willpower they need. You don't need to develop willpower if you consistently use all that you have. Remember, how you use it determines your destiny, as your life is largely shaped by your use of will. Without proper use of will, you'll lack independence and firmness. You'll be unable to control yourself and become a mere tool for others to use. Learning to use your will is more important than developing your intellect. The person who hasn't learned to use their will rarely makes decisions for themselves, but allows their resolutions to be swayed by others. They fluctuate between opinions and, of course, achieve nothing exceptional. In contrast, their counterpart with a trained will ranks among the world's leaders. Chapter 6. Unleashing the Power of Mental Demand. Mental demand is a potent force in achieving your goals. Your mindset influences your facial expressions, determines your actions, impacts your physical well-being, and ultimately shapes your life. While I won't delve into the scientific explanation of this silent force, I will teach you how to harness your mental powers to manifest your desires. There's incredible power and potential in focused mental demand. Like all forces, it operates under specific laws and can be significantly amplified through consistent and systematic effort. Mental demand should be fueled by all your mental faculties, employing every possible element to bring your desires into reality. You can yearn for something so intensely that it blocks out all distracting thoughts. By practicing this singular focus until you achieve your desired outcome, you'll develop an unstoppable will. As long as you only perform ordinary actions, you'll remain within the realm of mediocrity. To distinguish yourself, even slightly surpassing others, you'll be recognized as one of life's achievers. If you aspire to fame, you must accomplish more than the average person. This is possible if you concentrate on your desires and give your all. The fastest runner isn't always the one with the longest legs or strongest muscles. It's the one with the most intense desire to win. Think of an engine that starts slowly and gradually reaches its maximum speed. Similarly, two runners start together and gradually increase their desire to move faster. The one with the greatest intensity of desire will win, even if it's by a small margin, but they'll take home the prize. Individuals viewed as successful in the world weren't always the physically strongest or initially well-suited to their environments. They weren't considered superior geniuses, but achieved success through their unwavering determination to achieve results in their endeavors, refusing to let any setbacks discourage them. They always kept their goal in sight. This silent force of incredible power exists within all of us. If developed, it can overcome seemingly insurmountable conditions. It constantly drives us towards greater achievements. The more familiar we become with it, the better strategists we become, developing more courage and a stronger desire for self-expression in various activities. No one will be a failure if they become aware of this silent force within them that controls their destiny. However, without acknowledging this inner force, you won't have a clear vision, and external conditions won't yield to your mind's power. Mental determination makes achievement possible. Once formed, you must never let it stop pressing its claim until your goal is reached. For plans to work, you'll sometimes need to use all your mental power. Patience, perseverance, and all the indomitable forces within you must be activated and utilized with maximum efficiency. Patience is the first element of success. To persevere, you must be steadfast in your endeavor. It requires concentrating your thoughts on your project and devoting all your energy to keeping them focused on it until you've achieved your goal. To stop doing so weakens all future efforts. Mental demand may seem like an unreal power because it's intangible, but it's the strongest force in the world. It's a power you can use freely and no one can use it for you. Mental demand isn't an illusion. It's a potent force you can utilize freely at no cost. When you're in doubt, it will guide you. When you're indecisive, it will give you courage when you're afraid. It's the driving force that supplies the energy needed to achieve your purpose. You have a vast reservoir of possibilities, and mental demand turns these possibilities into reality. It provides everything necessary for achievement, selects the tools, and instructs you on how to use them. It helps you understand the situation. Every time you make a mental demand, you strengthen your brain centers, attracting external forces. Few people realize the power of a mental demand. It's possible for your demand to be so strong that you can convey what you want to say to another person without speaking to them. Have you ever planned to discuss a topic with a friend, only to have them bring it up before you had a chance to speak? Have you ever written a letter to a friend suggesting something they had already done before receiving your letter? Have you ever wished to speak with someone who suddenly appears or calls? Many have experienced these responses to thought, and surely you and your friends have too. These events aren't coincidences or accidents, but the result of mental demand driven by strong concentration. The person who never desires anything diminishes in importance. Making a resolute demand is the first step in getting what you want. The power of mental demand seems absolute and the supply is unlimited. Mental demand projects itself and materializes the conditions and opportunities needed to achieve the purpose. Don't think I'm exaggerating the value of mental demand. It brings a fuller life if used solely for just purposes. However, once the mental demand is made, never let it falter. If you do, the current connecting you to your desire is interrupted. Dedicate all the necessary time to build a firm foundation so that there isn't even a hint of doubt. The moment you harbor doubt, you lose some of the demand's force, and once lost, it's difficult to recover. So every time you make a mental demand, hold firm until your need is met. I want to reiterate that the power of mental demand isn't a fantasy. It's simply concentrated energy that you can utilize. It's not a supernatural power, but requires the development of brain centers. The result is certain when done with firm and determined resolve. No one will advance significantly until they recognize this force within themselves. If you haven't realized it, you likely haven't had much success in your life. This is what sets one person apart from others. It's this subtle power that develops a strong personality. If you yearn for much, you must demand much. Once you make your demand, expect its fulfillment. It depends on us. We are rewarded according to our efforts. The power of mental demand can bring us what we desire. We become what we decide to be. We control our own destiny. Adopt the right mental attitude, and according to your capacity, you can succeed. Every person of average ability, the ordinary person you see in yourself, can be truly successful, independent, worry-free, and their own leader if they achieve just two things. First, it's essential to remain permanently dissatisfied with what you're doing and what you've achieved. This constant dissatisfaction is the engine that drives the pursuit of improvements and new achievements. Second, develop the belief in your mind that the word impossible has no place in your vocabulary. Build the confidence that allows your brain to utilize it powerfully. Many people, especially older ones, wonder how they can develop that self-confidence. How can they, after months or years of discouragement and stagnation, suddenly conceive and carry out a plan that makes their life worthwhile and changes the monotony of their daily routine? How can a person break out of a rut after being stuck in it for years, accustomed to a slow pace that seems to lead to the grave? The answer is that it's possible, and millions of people have already done it. One of the most respected names among the great men of France is Littré, who wrote and compiled the great French dictionary, a monument of erudition. He was the one who occupied the place among the 40 immortals of France, which would later be taken by the great Pasteur when he was elected to the Academy. The remarkable thing is that Littre began the work that made him famous when he was over 60 years old. Chapter 7. Mastering Your Mind. Discover how focused mental demand can unlock your full potential and lead you to success. Your mindset not only influences your actions and physical well-being, but also shapes your entire life. Mental demand, like any other force, has governing laws and can be significantly amplified through consistent and systematic effort. It involves harnessing all your mental powers and focusing them on your desired outcome. By eliminating distractions and practicing singular concentration, you develop an unstoppable will to achieve your goals. To rise above mediocrity and achieve greatness, you must focus on your desires and give your best effort. Think of a race where the winner isn't always the strongest or fastest, but the one with the most intense desire to win. Similarly, in life, success often comes to those who are unwavering in their determination and refuse to be discouraged by setbacks. This silent force of immense power resides within all of us. By developing it, we can overcome seemingly impossible challenges and achieve greater success. The more we tap into this power, the better we become at strategizing, the more courageous we become, and the stronger our desire for self-expression grows. Recognizing this inner force is crucial for success. Without it, you lack a clear vision, and external circumstances won't bend to your will. Mental determination is the key to achievement, and once formed, it must never waver until your goal is reached. Patience, perseverance, and all the indomitable forces within you must be activated and utilized effectively. Patience is the foundation of success, and perseverance requires unwavering focus on your project until you achieve your goal. Mental demand is a potent force, though intangible. It's the strongest power in the world, and it's yours to use freely. It's not an illusion, but a real force that can guide you in doubt, give you courage in fear, and provide the energy needed to achieve your purpose. When you make a mental demand, you strengthen your brain centers and attract external forces. Your demand can be so powerful that you can transmit your thoughts to others without speaking. Have you ever experienced someone bringing up a topic you were just thinking about, or write a letter suggesting something a friend had already done? These aren't coincidences, but the result of mental demand amplified by concentration. The person who never desires anything diminishes in importance. Making a resolute demand is the first step towards getting what you want. Mental demand projects itself and materializes the conditions and opportunities needed to achieve your purpose. Once you make a mental demand, never let it falter, as this interrupts the connection to your desire. Dedicate time to build a firm foundation without any doubt, as doubt weakens the force of your demand. Remember, the power of mental demand isn't fantasy. It's concentrated energy that you can harness. It's not supernatural, but requires developing your brain centers. When done with firm determination, success is assured. No one will achieve significant progress until they recognize this force within themselves. If you haven't realized it, you likely haven't experienced much success in life. This subtle power sets individuals apart and develops strong personalities. If you yearn for much, demand much. Once you make your demand, expect its fulfillment. We are rewarded according to our efforts. The power of mental demand can bring us what we desire. We become what we decide to be, and we control our own destiny. Adopt the right mental attitude, and you can achieve success. The average person can become successful, independent, worry-free, and their own leader by doing two things. Remain permanently dissatisfied with your current achievements. This constant dissatisfaction fuels the pursuit of improvement and new accomplishments. Develop the belief that impossible doesn't exist in your vocabulary. Build the confidence that allows your brain to utilize its full power. Many wonder how they can develop this confidence after years of discouragement. The answer is that it's possible, and millions have done it. Consider Littre, who began the work that made him famous after the age of 60. Effective concentration stems from interest and a strong motive. The stronger the motive, the more intense the concentration. Successful lives are lives of concentration. Those who can't concentrate become victims of negative thoughts. centralize your thoughts, develop your brain power, and increase your mental energy. Choose thoughts that lead you to what you desire, and they will materialize in reality. What we believe in the thought world eventually manifests. That's the law. In the past, people lived adrift without concentration. But this is an era of efficiency, and all our efforts must be focused for significant success. Lack of concentration often stems from despair and passively waiting for inspiration. However, with maximum effort, you'll discover that it's within your reach. We are our own biggest limitation. We are who we are today due to our internal conditions, which we can control. External conditions are subject to our will. Through concentration, we can attract what we desire because we connect with universal forces. Imagine a race where all participants share the same goal, to reach the finish line first. This is an example of concentration. You can start thinking about a specific topic, and even though various thoughts may arise through concentration, you focus solely on the chosen one. Concentration is simply being willing to do something specific and doing it to achieve something. When faced with unfamiliar tasks, proceed calmly and deliberately to ensure that inner activity is never possible under haste or tension. Trying to force thought or rushing often obstructs the flow of thoughts and ideas. Often, when you struggle to think of something and can't, the idea emerges as soon as you stop concentrating on it. Chapter 8. Harnessing the Power of Habits for Focused Success. Habits wield an immense influence over our lives, far more than we often acknowledge. They can be both formidable foes and powerful allies in our quest for concentration. It's crucial to learn how to overcome habits that hinder our focus and cultivate those that enhance it. Most people are controlled by their habits, driven by them like a piece of driftwood tossed by ocean waves. They act in certain ways out of sheer habit, without reflecting on why they do what they do or if there's a better way. In this chapter, I aim to encourage you to examine your habits closely. By doing so, you can identify which ones serve you well and which ones don't. You'll discover that with some necessary adjustments, you can even transform detrimental habits into something useful and further strengthen your positive ones. The first thing to understand is that all habits are in some way controlled by the will, whether consciously or unconsciously. Often repeating an action in the same way multiple times leads to the formation of a habit. The more you repeat it, the stronger and more ingrained it becomes in your nature. Once a habit is firmly established, it becomes almost a part of you, making it difficult to overcome. However, you can break any habit by intensely focusing on its opposite. Our lives, as long as they have a definite form, are nothing more than a collection of practical, emotional, and intellectual habits systematically organized for our well-being or detriment. These habits inevitably lead us towards our destiny, whatever it may be. We are creatures of habit, prone to imitating and replicating our past. Just as folding a piece of paper leaves a crease that makes it easier to fold in the same place again, so too are our habits of thought and well-formed. Intelligence and will, although spiritual functions, are intertwined with matter. Each of their movements corresponds to a movement in the brain, their material counterpart. Hence, habits can be formed in both thought and will, as all physical impressions are the realization of the actions of both. As we age, many of us increasingly resemble automatic machines. The habits we've formed strengthen, and we act according to our characteristic patterns. Our peers come to expect us to behave in certain ways. Since it's just as easy to form good habits as bad ones, we should strive to develop the former. Each of us is responsible for our own habits. If everyone understood the importance of cultivating good habits, we would live in a vastly different world, one that's happier and more successful for all. Habits are formed most rapidly during our youth, but if we've passed that stage of youthful plasticity, the best time to start controlling our habits is now, as we'll never be younger than we are at this moment. Here are two valuable maxims to remember regarding habits. We must make our nervous system our ally, not our enemy. This means working in harmony with our natural tendencies and reactions, guiding them instead of fighting against them. When acquiring a new habit or discarding an old one, we must exert ourselves with the utmost initiative and determination. Forming or eliminating a habit requires deliberate and focused effort. A half-hearted approach is rarely enough to overcome ingrained tendencies. Individuals who have cultivated the habit of doing right since childhood are driven by noble motives. Therefore, it's crucial to concentrate on developing habits that reinforce these good motives. Surround yourself with all possible support, and avoid temptations that could lead to bad habits. Treat each day as a fresh start and an opportunity to reaffirm the habits that propel you towards your goals and values. Analyze why you've been doing certain things, and if they aren't beneficial, strive to avoid them from now on. Don't give in to temptations, as each time you do, you strengthen the chains of bad habits. Conversely, every time you uphold a resolution, you break those chains that bind you. Never allow an exception until the new habit is firmly rooted in your life. Be consistent and don't give in until the new habit is fully established. Relapsing undoes what has been achieved through previous efforts. There are two opposing forces, the will to be firm and the temptation to yield. Through willpower and repetition, you can strengthen yourself to resist any temptation. Seize the first possible opportunity to act on every resolution you make and every emotional impulse you experience in the direction of the habits you want to acquire. Making a resolution and not fulfilling it has little value. Ensure that you keep every resolution you make. This not only benefits you but also provides exercise for your brain cells and their physiological counterparts to form the habit of fulfilling resolutions. A tendency to act becomes ingrained in us in proportion to the frequency with which actions actually occur, and the brain is molded for its use. Allowing a determination or a flash of feeling to evaporate without bearing fruit is even worse than losing a unit of energy. Habits play a far more significant role in our lives than we often realize. They can be both formidable obstacles and powerful allies in our pursuit of focused success. It's essential to learn how to overcome habits that hinder our concentration and cultivate those that enhance it. Most of us are driven by our habits, acting on autopilot without questioning why we do things or if there's a better way. But by consciously examining our habits, we can identify those that serve us well and those that hold us back. With some effort, we can even transform detrimental habits into something positive and further strengthen our beneficial ones. The key to understanding habits is recognizing that they are, in some way, controlled by our will, whether consciously or unconsciously. Repetition is the foundation of habit formation. The more we repeat an action, the stronger and more ingrained it becomes. Once a habit is firmly established, it can feel like a part of us, making it difficult to break. However, by intensely focusing on its opposite, we can overcome any habit. Our lives are essentially a collection of habits, practical, emotional, and intellectual, that shape our well-being and ultimately our destiny. We are creatures of habit, prone to repeating patterns. Just as a folded piece of paper is easily folded in the same place again, our thoughts and actions tend to follow familiar grooves. As we age, many of us become more like automatons, acting according to our ingrained habits. However, it's never too late to take control of our habits and shape our lives for the better. Take into account these important ideas to maximize the influence of habits. Become the ally of your nervous system. Instead of battling against your innate instincts, work in sync with them. Change your habits with a resolute approach. It takes dedication and focused effort to form or break a habit. Don't let exceptions happen until the new behavior is well established. Making long-lasting changes requires consistency. Take immediate action on your desires and resolutions. Put your intentions into action and don't let them disappear. Maintain your willpower by practicing on a regular basis. To bolster your determination, set voluntary challenges for yourself. Recall that we are not captives to our routines. We can deliberately decide which ones to preserve and which ones to throw away by knowing how they function. Positive habits can take the place of negative ones, and we can change our lives. Although habits are intrinsic to human nature, we can overcome them and live successful, focused lives by being conscious of them, persistently working toward our goals and breaking free from their hold.